Hi everybody, Anthony here from Awesome Anthony Productions, and today I'm diving into the icy, blood-soaked ballet that is from the world of John Wick, Ballerina. Awful name, by the way. But before we get started, please leave a like, and at the end of the video, if you think I've earned it, please subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new reviews. Now let's get into it. So kind of like the first John Wick, the story here is pretty straightforward. When our main character Eve was a little girl, her father was murdered by a doomsday cult. Fast forward about 12 years, and Eve, now an adult played by Ana de Armas, has grown up under the Rosca-Roma, the same ballerina assassins that we saw in John Wick Chapter 3. And now she's a full-fledged killer, with pirouettes and pistols. She's on a mission to find the cult leader and get revenge for her father. Simple, direct, personal. And yes, that might sound familiar because like I said, this is kind of cut from the same cloth as the original John Wick. He lost his dog, she lost her dad, and they both grieved in the healthiest way possible, by murdering anybody even remotely connected.
Kill him, Dad! Murder him!
There is a bit too much exposition up front in this film though. Like, I get it, okay? There's a cult, her dad died, rage, I understand. Thankfully, once the bullets start flying, the movie kind of shuts up a bit and lets Eve do what she does best. Kick a lot of ass. So let's talk about Ana de Armas. She's really good here. Eve is tough, calculating, but also kind of raw and scrappy, which I really loved. Unlike John Wick, who mainly just grunts and then drops an occasional one-liner, Eve talks, sometimes too much, but de Armas makes it work. She's not trying to be John Wick, she's doing her own thing. And once that character locks onto a target, you see that fire in her eyes.
I'm sorry.
She also does a ton of her own stunts here, and it shows, just like with Keanu. The fight choreography can go to slick and scrappy in seconds. It can get very brutal, almost a little horrific at times. It gets gory, like axe to the face gory, but in a good way that never lingers in the aftermath. And here is something that I really appreciated. Ana de Armas is not a hulking tank. She's a small woman, and this movie leans into that. It doesn't just ignore it.
You will always be weaker. You will always be smaller. You want to win? Improvise. Adapt.
She takes hits, she gets thrown around, she bleeds. It reminded me much more of John McClane in Die Hard than, say, Black Widow, especially whatever the hell the character of Ruth was doing in Captain America: Brave New World. Eve has to think on her feet. She has to use momentum, weapons, the environment around her, anything she can to stay alive. And that made the fights feel much more suspenseful, and they just kept building and building until the movie's kind of insane climax. It's not about being the strongest. She's just scrappy as hell and will throw down with anybody because she'll find a way to make it work, and the film will find a way to make it feel grounded. Now let's talk about supporting cast. Gabriel Byrne, who I last saw in Hereditary, plays the villain here. And he's fine. There's nothing wrong with his performance, but he's barely in the movie, and when he was there...
He starts monologuing.
Menacing? Sort of. Memorable? But who was memorable? Norman freaking Reedus, even if he's only on screen for like 5 minutes. It was just a joy to see him on the big screen again. His character kind of feels like a mix of Daryl from The Walking Dead and his character from the Boondock Saints, and I really love that energy. He's mysterious, he's gruff, he can kick ass in the action scenes. It just worked. And yes, John Wick does show up. His role is very small, but it's a welcome inclusion, and he still does get a few scenes to show off John Wick's badassery. Also, visually, this movie rocks. We get some globe-trotting again, from the halls of the Rosca-Roma to the New York Continental, to the snow-covered rooftops of Hallstatt, Austria. That last section, beautiful. The scenery is stunning, and the action that takes place here, especially amidst the snowy backdrop, is just beautiful. Speaking of the climax, flamethrower.
Enough said.
This movie is also pretty funny in a lot of parts. Not really with a bunch of one-liners, but there's just some straight up absurdly funny parts in the fight scenes, like a scene where Eve and her opponent end up on the floor of a kitchen and just start smashing plates on each other's heads. That made me laugh. I know this is a short review, but I really don't have that much else to say about this movie, so we'll end it here. Does this hit the same operatic highs as the best of John Wick? Not really. And does it create that lightning in a bottle feeling from the first one? No. But it doesn't have to. Ballerina may be derivative, but if it ain't broke, it's just another solid revenge story with killer choreography, tight pacing, badass fight scenes that just escalate and escalate, a surprising amount of laughs, and just enough world building to keep things interesting without getting bogged down in lore. It's got some flaws, exposition overload, undercooked villain, but it also has Ana de Armas taking out dudes with the flamethrower. So who cares? And that's my review of Ballerina. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this review, you know exactly what to do. I said it earlier. Please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new reviews. While you're at it, you can scroll down the description below, find the links to my socials, leave a comment, let me know if you saw this and what you thought. And if you want more of my content, you can click or tap on these cards right here. I'll take you to my review of Bring Her Back, or just over to my channel where you can check out the rest of my reviews. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next week for my review of Predator, Killer of Killers, and then right afterwards for my review of How to Train Your Dragon. See you then. And remember, when in doubt, bring a flamethrower.